Hi everyone, I'm Katrina Tata. I'm the designer of the new science-themed stamp set at CraftStash, and today I'm going to use some of my new products to make a cute gift of happiness, and I'll show you what that means in a second. So let's jump right at my crafting table. So for the gift we're making today, I'm going to use my new Happy Hormones stamp set as well as the Happy Flowers die set to coordinate with. And yeah, first I'm gonna cut my base. Just need a plain square. I'm using an A4 sheet of cardstock, and I'm using a 300 GSM cardstock from CraftStash. So I'm gonna cut it to 19.5 centimeters. On the one side and 19.5 centimeters on the other side as well. Next, I'm going to score 4 times 1 centimeter. So I'm starting right here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I have to change it. 4. And I'm gonna repeat that on all 4 sides of my square. And 4. Not sure if you can see this, but I'm gonna burnish all the scores and then you'll definitely be able to see it. So let's have at it at scoring or burnishing. It's a bit tedious to do this, but it's gonna be worth it in the end. First one, only 3 more to go. Okay, let's see. I'm sure now you'll be able to see it. Yes. And now you're also going to see these corner squares, and we're just going to cut these away. Just cut away all the parts with the tiny squares on it. I'm sorry, I'm still a little shaky from the flu I just had. Okay, now I have this little cross shape, and the next thing we're going to do is mark 1 centimeter in the second section up here. So we have the first section, we leave out this one, and then we measure 1 centimeter from the side in here. And I'm gonna use my set square for this. Okay. And I'm just gonna mark it in here in the second section, here, and also down here. And I'm gonna repeat the same thing on the other side. So just 1 centimeter. up here and down here. And now I'm connecting the ends of these marks with the corner up here and then with the edge down here where the score meets the edge, like this. Usually I just eyeball it, but for the sake of the video I'm gonna draw it in so you can see what I mean or where I'm cutting. This. And then I'm just gonna cut out the parts I've just marked. And it's okay if some marks still show after cutting it out, because this will be on the inside, so you won't be able to see it anyway. Now that we have cut out all 4 trapeze shapes, we can just roll in both sides with the cutouts. The upper one and the lower one. Now it looks like this, and now we can also roll in the other sides and tuck them into these cutouts. You might have to put these or flatten these out a little, but yeah, fits perfectly. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Just like this, perfect. And just like that, our shadow box is finished. And you don't even need glue for this. Like if you use a 300 GSM cardstock, then it should hold up fine on its own. If you like, you can put a tiny bit of glue on these corners to make it more stable, but it's holding up pretty nicely, so I'm not gonna do that. What I am gonna do is fill up this box with happiness, almost literally. And for that, I'm gonna use this serotonin stamp up here. Serotonin is called like the happy hormone because it gives you this happy feeling. And that's what I'm gonna use now. Gonna put it out there, put that aside. And this is just the leftover piece from before. And I'm gonna use that to stamp my serotonin stamp. Gonna ink it up quite nicely. Everything's cut, perfect. Now I'm just gonna stamp it. Okay, that should be enough. Perfect. Next I'm gonna color it in, and I'm using my alcohol markers for this. And I'm gonna need a nice dark green, maybe like this. Let's test it out. Yeah, that looks nice. And a lighter green. Let's see if this one works. Yes, perfect. And for the petals, I want to choose a nice light pink. Let's see what we have here. Looks good. And maybe a darker pink. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna use these colors. I can put this aside. And I'm gonna start by coloring in the bottoms of the individual petals. The ones that are further on the inside, they get a darker shade of pink, and then I just want to fade it out to the top of the petals with a lighter pink. And now I'm kind of gonna repeat the same thing with the leaves. So I'm Gonna start with a darker shade of green on the bottom and then later fade it out with lighter shade. And now that it's all nicely colored in, I will cut it out. Doesn't that look nice? Okay, and I'm also gonna use the serotonin description stamp to put alongside the serotonin stamp, because I mean not everyone will know what this is, so that's what the description stamp is for. Okay, gonna ink it up real nice as well. Okay, and now I'm gonna stamp it. I will keep some space next to it so I can cut it out in a rectangle later. Nice and clear stamp, perfect. And now I'm just gonna cut it out. Perfect. Now I just want to see how I will position it. I'm thinking about putting the description stamp right here. Careful not to slip it under the frame so people can still read it. And then this one up here, yeah, that looks nice, I think. And now I want to elevate the structure a little above the description, so I'm gonna create some paper spaces. Just any scrap piece of cardstock you have, and then you just cut maybe 0.5 centimeter strips from it, maybe 1/4 of an inch, like this. And then let's see, this wide maybe, which might be 4 centimeters. Yes, let's make 3.8. And I want it to be elevated about 0.5 centimeters. So next one I score will be 0.5 centimeters. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we are. And the next one has to be the length of the first, so 3.8. So next one is 8.1 then. Let's see. It's a tight fit, but it fits very nice. So let's just fold and burnish it. And you can see it builds kind of a square. Yes, like this. That's very nice. And I can put it underneath this. Yes, perfect. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue at the end here. Don't need much. And just put it together like this. And I like to use some pins or anything to just hold it in place until the glue has dried. And I'm also gonna repeat this or make another spacer for maybe this arm or at least this flower. Otherwise it's just one part elevated and it might drop down over time. So I'm just gonna, yeah, I think I'm gonna make one just for the flower. Okay, let's see if it fits. Yes, perfect. This one has dried as well, perfect. And it fits perfectly in here, very nice. And also in here, very nice. So you won't be able to see it from the top. That's just perfect. Okay, whoops, I don't want to lose it. Okay, first I'm gonna glue down this one. Just gonna use my glue roller here. Okay. place it in here. Very nice. And now I'll put a bit of glue on the long sides of my spaces and put it on the back side of my serotonin structure. I'm gonna use my tweezers to just press it down on the back side beneath the upper part, so I can press it down nicely until the glue has dried. And now I'm just gonna repeat this process with my other spacers, so adding a tiny bit of glue to one of the long sides and then place it where it is supposed to be, in this case the tiny end flower, and I'm gonna press it down. Okay, this looks good. And now I'm just gonna add a little bit of glue to the other side of both spaces. Turn everything around and place it inside my shadow box like this. Well, I think this looks quite nice, doesn't it? And now we're gonna need a wrapper for this gift, so I'm gonna put this aside and get out my scoring board again. Now for my shadow box wrappers, I like to use a little bit lighter weight cardstock because I just feel it slides off more easily. But if you want it to be more sturdy, you of course can use your heavyweight cardstock as well. I'm going for 120 grams of craft paper here. For the measurements, we need to measure the length and the width of our box, which is the same because it's a square. And we've got 11.5 centimeters, so I'm gonna go for 11.6, maybe 11.7 centimeters, just to have a little bit of wiggle room. And then we have 1 centimeter in height, so I'm gonna go with 1.1. And let's see if it fits. Yeah, should fit perfectly. So let's cut it to 11.7 centimeters. Then we're gonna score it at 11.6, maybe also 7. The rest is for gluing it down. So let's see if what I measured or calculated was correct. Just gonna score this. Okay. Yes, that fits perfectly. Nice. But I just don't want to leave it plain, so I think I'm gonna stamp some of the serotonins on there as well. So let's bring out the set again. Maybe also the serotonin stamp itself, well, the one that says serotonin. And I'm just gonna ink it up and stamp it several times on here, just to give it a nice pretty pattern. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to clean the desk afterwards, but let's see. I think that looks nice, and now I can fill in all the more open spaces with the serotonin stamp. Just gonna place it up here. That looks nice. And I like that these stamps are so big, so you can easily make beautiful backgrounds like this. Just so pretty. Okay, so this is gonna be my upside, this will be the downside. All right, now I just want to add like a sentiment up here. But before I'm gonna do that, I'm also gonna put a different background paper, and therefore I'm also using my new paper pack that coordinates perfectly with the Happy Hormone stamp set and all the other stamp sets from the set. So many pretty papers in here, and there's one particular one that I like because it fits perfectly with the serotonin stamp, because it has the serotonin stamp on it. And I'm gonna place it on here as background. What did I say was 11.7, right? So I'm just gonna make it 11 centimeters. Well, I'm just gonna cut an 11 centimeter square from it. And that's perfectly 11 centimeters. Perfect. Just perfect. You know what? Maybe I make it a little smaller. Maybe I make it 10 centimeters on each side. Oh, it hurts me to have these tiny strips, but what you gonna do? Yeah, I think that looks nice. Has a nice frame around it. Let's do it this way. And I also have this spare white square that I'm gonna put inside here. It's maybe a little bit too small, but I'll just go with it. I think it still looks nice. Perfect. And for the sentiment, I'm gonna use my Happy Flower stamp set. And I'm gonna use the happiness and maybe also some flowers. So let's put these out. Let's see, there's the happiness. Perfect. Yeah, it fits perfectly. And yeah, also some flowers, some leaves. The hard one's also nice, but I'm not gonna use this one right now. I'm gonna use some flowers, and I also like that it comes with flower inside, so the flowers look really nice and realistic. Alrighty. I'm just gonna die cut these with my die cutting machine, which is not at my crafting table, so I can't show it, but I'm just gonna cut them out and then I'll just be right back. Okay, we have the happiness now, and I don't want to lose the dot of the eye. We have some leaves, some more leaves, flowers, nice, and some flower centers. Oh, I love this one. Such a nice flower center. Okay. And I also have some more of these flowers here. Okay, so the package shows you how to put the flower centers and the flowers together, but really you can mix and match as you like, because I think everything kind of goes with everything. So I'm gonna use this one, so you can make it like this so it fits perfectly, or put it at an angle so it looks like this. I think both look beautiful, like this and like this. Both are perfectly valid ways, and you can just get creative with your flowers here. I think I'm gonna go with this. So I'm just adding a tiny bit of glue just in the center, really, because then I can kind of straighten out or curl the individual petals later. I'm just gonna use my stylus to press it down firmly, like this. First flower is finished. Now I'm just playing around a little with different flower and flower center combinations until I found some that I liked. I'm gonna start with my happiness sentiment. With these sentiment dies, it's always a bit tricky not to use too much glue, but still enough so it will stick, but not too much so it will show. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue on kind of the cross sections, and then also dab on it with my fingers a little, so I can smudge it out a little before I put it on my white piece of cardstock. And now let's try and make it as straight as possible. For the second part of my sentiment, I will have to write that. So I'm gonna draw a straight line for guidance. Let's see, I want to write inside. Yeah, I think that looks good. So I will trace it. I'm just gonna erase the guideline and the pre-drawn letters. And I think that looks good and is ready to be glued down. Just eyeball it and try to be as centered as possible. Okay, and I'm also gonna try and center it on here. Maybe I'll just flip this over to make it more clear where the ends are. Looks good, I think. Perfect. That looks very nice. And I'm also gonna punch out a half circle from the center just to make it easier to get the shadow box out. And I think I can glue it down now, so let's put the shadow box in here. This looks nice. I want this to be on the inside. Perfect. And now I'm just gonna add some glue. Very nice. And now I'm also gonna add these flowers. Okay, I'm gonna put this out to be able to really press this one down. Okay, I'm gonna keep this for another project then. And now it is finished, our little gift of happiness. Doesn't it look so pretty? I really love the stamp set. I can't wait for you to get your hands on it as well. And yeah, I just love it, and I hope you love it just as much as I do. Happy crafting!